Jesus Christ. In today's gospel, we could see that how people, some of them were telling Jesus that his mother and brothers were wanting to talk with him, so they were standing outside when he was preaching to the people. They were telling him, and to that Jesus was telling that, "Who are my mother, brother, or sister?" One would ask, "The will of my Father in heaven is my mother, brother, or sister." So he said like that because he is creating a spiritual family, so in which everyone is welcome to be the part of the family as a brother, mother, father, a sister, and so on. So even you and me are invited to join that spiritual family that Christ is creating, the spiritual body, one body of Christ. In the letters of St. Paul, we can read how everyone is growing into a body of one body into Christ for God to dwell in it. So when you say that, what is that will of God that Christ is talking about? See, will can be to each person, it may differ. Each person, it may differ. The will of God for you is different than the will of God for someone else. So, we need to find out the will of God, but finding that, so there may be decision has to be taken, discernment has to be taken. You may think that this is the will of God for me, but that may not be there. Something else could be the will of God for you. Something else could be the will of God for you. For instance, you may be good at music. Okay, you think that playing music, playing the devotional songs, and then pulling the people towards Christ is the will of God for me. But Christ may have different will for you to carry out, So that is what, dear friends, we need to find it out. So in our lives also, so when you find the will of God for you, so therefore you need to work on that. You need to develop that particular talent which may help you to do the will of God, to fulfill the will of God. For instance, if you take the life of Christ, what was the will of God for him? For him to be crucified on the cross. But at the Garden of Gethsemane, what Jesus was telling, "Lord, let this cup pass away from me, but not what I want, but what you want." So at that moment, Christ also wanted that the suffering should pass away from him. But what was the will of God for him? That he was to suffer. He was to suffer. Not only that, in one of the gospel he would tell that, "Do you think that if I ask the Father that he will not send the legion of angels to protect me?" Even when they were coming to arrest him, that moment Jesus said. But also he said that if I do that, so how the scriptures will be fulfilled. So therefore, dear friends, so we may think this is the will of God, but sometimes that may not be the will of God for you. So what is the challenge for us? We need to find out the exact will of God for you, so that you may do it in order, by doing it, you may glorify God. So let us find out the will of God. Thank you.